106.7 WIZN, Quiet Ride. It's Come On Feel the Noise. Heard Foghat and Slow Ride before that. I'm Joe Vega here with you in your Wednesday Rock and Ride home. And I've got Paul Harding on the phone right now from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I'm calling you in regards to the latest Supreme Court decision, which states that people can no longer be fired for their sexual orientation or gender identity. It's a pretty big news. And I guess my first question is, are you surprised with this ruling?
You know, the Supreme Court always surprises me, but they didn't here. This is what I expected that they would do. We've got about 28 states who already have protections, employment protections for folks in this category. In Vermont was, I think, the second state to do it. So we've had this for a long time here. This just federally codifies it in all 50 states. I guess if you held a gun to my head, I would have said, I thought that the anti-discrimination laws that, covered gay and transgender workers was already in place. You couldn't fire them.
That was my thought when I first heard about this was, isn't this already a law? But it's just in Vermont and some other states, like you said.
And interestingly enough, I looked in New York, I get these neighboring states, and it sort of was in New York. It's sexual orientation, but not the gender identity. So, a state like New York that purports to be on the cutting edge of these things that hadn't done it. So it just cleaned it up on a national level.
Now, is it surprising because it's a conservative court now?
Yeah, so there you go, right? It was kind of a test. It was looking at this saying, okay, has this court turned? And some of the folks that people thought would, take an opposition to this did not. And the folks who did take the opposition were folks that, at least one of them that people thought wouldn't. But, yeah, ultimately it was kind of a test for a court that we perceive has changed, and it kind of delivered this thing in a way that we would have expected the courts of a few years ago to have done it.
Let's say you were a person who was fired because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. How hard would that be to get a settlement for?
Well, again, a proof issue, right? So someone's got to be pretty direct. Because we're an at-will state. We can come in and say, you know what, you're just gone. Yeah, but I've been here 15 years. Yeah, but you know what? You're going to be gone. Because, again, the big ones, race, color, sex, national origin, if you're pregnant, disabled, religious, you can't fire for those things.
Right.
And now we've got, gay and transgender. But you've got to make sure that your employer, sometimes they'll state it, right? That's an easy one. That would be an easy recovery. Ultimately, it becomes a proof issue. And once you prove it, if that is the basis of it, now you have a clear line for being compensated.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti.
Talk soon, Joe.
Remember, you can call Paul or any of the fine lawyers at Martin Harding and Mazzotti at any time at 1-800-LAW-1010 or go online to 1-800-LAW-1010.com. All right, Mel Allen's taking over. He's got music from Deep Purple and Steve Miller next.